Welcome back to the Winnipeg Business Report, brought to you by the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce and Manitoba Hydro Power Smart for Business, heard exclusively on CJOB 68.
It's 8:33. Welcome back to the program. It's Tuesday night. I'm John McLeese. Thanks for joining us. Do you have a website in your business? If you don't, you should. And if you do, maybe you need to improve it. So we're going to talk about some of that tonight with my guest, John McDonald, who is the president and CEO of Canada's Web Shop, and Lyndsay Walker, who's the director of online marketing for Canada's Web Shop. Both are joining me in studio. John, Lyndsay, welcome to the program.
Thanks, John.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John.
It's great to have you. So tell us a little bit, John McDonald, to you first, about your company, Canada's Web Shop.
Sure, yeah. We're an online marketing company. We've been around since 1999, and more or less what we do is we help clients to give their brand exposure online. So we basically focus on that area. So we do such things like websites and really online marketing tactics that help to increase exposure of your brand online, and the whole goal at the end of it is to more or less increase your online sales or increase your online leads from your website.
Do most businesses nowadays have a website?
They're getting there. We see a lot of sites that are trying, or sites that have, hired the basement dweller, no offense to anyone, but, a few years ago, and maybe have something that's not quite trendy anymore, or doesn't suit their needs anymore. We see a lot of people like that coming just to have something rejuvenated and something that meets their needs a lot better.
So a lot of companies have gone out and they've put a point of presence out on a website, but really, what makes a really good website nowadays? Because I agree with you. I think that some companies they forget about their website. They forget that the content needs to be refreshed. Mm-hmm. They forget about the navigation and how people...
They know they need it. They just don't know what to do with it. And that's a big thing, a big part of where we come in, because we'll come in and analyze what they've got. We'll talk about what the goals are for the site, what you want people to do when they're coming in to your site. Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to send you an email? Do you want them to sign up for a newsletter? We'll take a look at that. We'll work with them either with the existing site or suggest a new site based on those marketing goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with a website, basically the most important areas is one, it's got to look good. Really nowadays you can't have a website that looks poor and the graphic design doesn't look good. It's got to be something that's easy to navigate. People are online enough that they want to get somewhere quick. And from a company's point of view, you want to have a website that's easy to manage, easy to update. We have a website content management system that we've developed in-house that allows our clients to actually manage and make changes to their site themselves. So
that's interesting, yeah. John. You make a good point there, because I think in the early days companies were really tied to their developer to have everything kind of rolling through them. Not that we don't want people like yourself to make good money on it, but you've got to design it in such a way that the client can update it and can manage it really themselves, unless they want to contract with you.
Absolutely. Our model is that. And you're totally right. It used to be in those days that you were kind of in handcuffs by your web developer. If you wanted to make a change and you were dealing with some kid who did it on the side and they don't get back to you for 2 weeks, then you can't get changes made. Our model is that again, we put the tools in your hands that you can manage your website, make your changes, and we basically want to do the hard stuff. So we want to do the programming, the graphic design, as well as we want to do the online marketing to actually help them to increase their brand awareness, and that's what we want to do. So,
for those of you, of course, this is radio, but Lyndsay, you're a very young woman. You're extremely young.
I don't think I'm as young as I look.
Well, you do, and I'm only saying that for a reason. I'm saying that for a reason because you're in a very important role within your company. You obviously understand the power of the website and navigating the World Wide Web for youth. Do you find that the companies are really trying to focus on that area and are trying to be cool and updated on trying to attract that market?
It really depends on the site and the company and their market that they're trying to target. But for sure, you see a lot of companies that are trying to embrace the areas of the web where youth exist, what they're using. For example, social sites, Twitter, Facebook, blogging, that's where the young people are at. And not even just the young people. I mean, this whole social world is expanding more and more. But for companies that want to target the young people who are now, our whole lives, we've been used to getting things immediately. We don't wait for a lot anymore, which is probably why none of us have any patience to wait for the dial-up modem. But companies who are smart will go after those avenues to where the young people are on the social media sites. And I open this up to both of you, John and Lyndsay. By the way, if you've just joined us, we're speaking with John McDonald, as President and CEO of Canada's Web Shop. www.thewebshop.ca is their web address. And Lyndsay Walker is the Director of Online Marketing. It's the Business Report here on CJOB at 8:39. Do you find that you have to be able to transact commerce on your website? Is that a must nowadays? Is it a selling site or is it an information site?
Well, there's basically both. I mean, obviously, certain products are meant to be sold online. If you look at like a Canadian Footwear, which is one of our clients, selling shoes, surprisingly does very well online. It does something like books with McNally Robinson, which is another one of our clients as well too. That's a very good fit to sell online. If you're talking about other products like selling financial services or selling architectural services, really these are lead generation sites, and that's what the clients want to get out of them is that they want to get leads that are coming in that their salespeople can basically follow up on. And I think there's a lot of other things too that are sort of efficiency solutions, like the ability just for clients to take a payment online. If you're a business like us, if we've got a contract out there and someone wants to pay an invoice, we can basically accept a Visa or just a credit card payment for that, and a lot of clients like that. So a lot more clients are getting into that as well, and that is a form of e-commerce as well too, right?
We have to take a break, but before we do, big question on people's minds about the website, maybe less now than maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. Is it safe to transact business now on the internet?
Absolutely. There's really little excuse anymore, I think, to be nervous about doing transactions on the internet. How long have eBay and PayPal been around? They were kind of the pioneers behind this. And there are just so many fantastic solutions out there for purchasing online. And I think that the stories you hear become less and less about people who are having trouble on the internet. Educate yourself. There are things you can do, very simple things you can do to make sure that everything's good online. I think it's a fantastic way. I know that I'll buy anything online if I can.
Well, I got to say, I buy a lot more things online than I have, certainly in the last 6 or 8 months, and more research you do. A lot of people do their research. They're very well educated now as a result of using websites. We're going to take a break, check out weather and some commercials. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about how you can increase visits to your website, what some of the tools that are available, some of the dangers and pitfalls of not knowing what you're doing when you're working and building a website, and some success stories as well. We're visited here today by John McDonald and Lyndsay Walker, both of Canada's Web Shop at www.thewebshop.ca. I'm John McLeese. We'll take a break and back after this on the Business Report from CJOB 68.